Today I'm going to put together a TMS kayak rack because it seems like nobody has any videos of this and the instructions are horrible. So, first thing I'm going to use is a 1/2 inch ratchet wrench. That's the best tool I found to use to put these together. And here you just lay all your parts out, that way you got everything. And the first we're going to start off with the bottom piece, and then you want to make sure you have it facing down. So you want the ridge at the bottom. And then this is going to be a tight piece to put in. You're going to have to really work it because they're not molded very good. They're pretty easy to bend and everything, but it's going to take a little bit of muscle and probably some frustration to put it together. So, first we're going to start off and put this together if it wants to work. Like I said, it's a pain in the rear end. This is one of the worst parts about this. So once you get this part together, it's all smooth sailing. So, there, once you get it started, you just gotta work it back and forth. Shaking, twisting, pounding, but it'll go. And once you get all the holes lined up, then you add the front piece. So, same thing, it's going to be hard, but you got to slip them in. And once you get them in, you just wiggle back and forth until it stops. And then make sure all the holes are lined up. And then you're going to take your steel plate that fits in the mold, so you lay it down so it fits down in the mold nicely there, and you'll take your shorter carriage bolts. You should have 4 for each side, and these are a snug fit also. It might be better to pull this away and go ahead and take and push them through. Like I said, you got to really work it, but as much as you may not believe it when you're trying to put it together, it does all fit. Sometimes you got to kind of thread it through. They didn't mold them together very good. And all else fails, if you can't get it to go, if you can just get it started, take your ratchet wrench, and as you're turning, it'll pull itself through. Sometimes you just gotta get over the little bumps, but like I said, it's not molded very good, but once you get it started, this one just doesn't want to go in. There it goes. You can just kind of screw it down in there. Then you take your nut off. And do the same with the next 4. That one was a lot easier. Oh, I'm at 3. Next 3 more. There's 4 total. Get them all started up in there. Some of them will go easier than others. But the racks are actually quite sturdy once you get them together. And luckily you only have to do this once. So now you'll put the steel plate back on, your washer, and your nuts. I just go around and do it to all of them, so I don't have to worry about the bolts falling out, the carriage bolts falling out. It's just easier to go around and make sure they're all got them on there. They got lock washers in there, so they're not going to back out or anything. Okay, so once you have that done, I take the ratchet wrench and you spin it. Now, the carriage bolt will more than likely spin with it. So what you need to do is just keep pushing on the back half until you get it down in its lock position. There we go. I had it. Well, none of them just want to start today. There, that one goes. So you just gotta get the carriage bolt to get lined up in the square, and then it'll start going. You snug up one side, then I recommend you go to the next side. Once you get it started, you gotta really push your thumb into it to get it to go. Then it wants to slip out. But these racks are like substantially cheaper than the other ones, and they work just as well. It's just you got to deal with this. So if you don't have the extra money to spend, I recommend these because they work just as good as the $100 ones, but you can get them for $30 on Amazon. Really, once you get this part done, you're through the worst part of it. Alright, here's the last one. There, and that pulled it in. You just got to apply pressure and get them to go. Then you get them tied all the way around. So just go back around and make sure they're snug. You don't want to over tighten them, but you don't want to under tighten them either. So just till they feel pretty snug. Alright, and then take your other steel bracket, it goes there. Now you want to shove up these carriage bolts like before. Probably want to pull that off. Thread them in a little bit. Once you get them threaded in fairly good, you can usually pop them, and they'll pop right up in place for the most part. Until you get this side, and then that one pushed right in. See, some of them will push in. I've had ones that go together real easy, and then some of these things don't want to go together at all, but they'll go together. It just takes a little more muscle. Alright, now you don't have to do this part, but I do just because it makes it easier once you go to put it on the vehicle. You take and put these down, and tighten them up. That way you sink your carriage bolts on the other side. Because before now, see how they're up? Now you'll be able to sink them down in and get them set into the plastic. That way you don't have to fight it when you're putting them on your car. And that one's tight, so I can loosen that one back up. And then you just go to the other side, do the same thing. Make sure you get it tight. That one sunk in, and you can loosen it. And then all that's left is go like this. Put your wing nuts on. That way you know you don't lose them. And now you're ready to mount it to your car. Once you go to mount it to your car, all you have to do is take apart is the wing nuts and these nuts. Pull this plate off, stick it up on the rack, put the plate back on, put the first nut on, snug them up, and then put your wing nuts on as a lock nut. Then you're good. It's set. That's how you put together a TMC kayak rack.